this is Jeanette Kane from Jewelry Arts Inc. This is the second part of how to make a Roman Planished chain in 22 karat apricot gold. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to fire coat the links and how to fuse them. So after I have them butted together, there's only one more thing that I really need to do before I coat them, is you need to make sure that they're pressed flat. Because like, for example, this one is laying there pretty flat and behaving itself. But like, you see how this one is popped up a little bit? Anything that's sticking up is going to heat up faster. So it's really not a good thing when you're fusing links to have them kind of parts sticking up in the air. So normally I just take one of my larger dowels and press and make sure it's laying there pretty flat. I'm not worried about them being round, you know, because that doesn't matter. We're going to be stretching them afterward. I just want to see that the ends are together really nicely and it's laying flat. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I've got my links, they're butted together, they're nice and flat. And because it's apricot gold, I'm going to coat them. Those of you who work in like 14 karat or things like that, you're going to be really used to this. You know that when you anneal or solder, you basically want to heat the metal just a little bit, and you can spray or you can dip a little bit of fire coat. You know, there's all different kinds of fire coat. At the moment, I'm testing this stuff out from Peppy. And to see if I like it any better than any of the other ones. And it has this fancy spray bottle. So I have not yet made up my mind whether this is my favorite in the whole world, but it does work well. So what I'm gonna do, now I put it on a honeycomb block. I hate honeycomb blocks, blah, blah, blah. I really don't like honeycomb blocks. I never normally use them, but when I'm using the spray fire coat, I really don't want to take that and spray it on my solderite board again and again and just get like flux all over it. This is usually what I use when I'm going to like heat it up and spray. It just gets less clogged up. So really all you have to do is you warm up the metal a little bit, and I'm going to spray it, and you'll see it just kind of makes a little white coating. So I'm going to warm them up a little bit, and then I'm just going to spray it. And basically you warm it up, and that's what makes the fire coat stick to it. So I'm going to like do a little bit of that. See? See, that gives you that little coating. I'll give it another little spray. But yeah, this is why I don't really like to do this on my solderite board, because I don't really like to. And so you see how it gets that white little coating there? And then I'm going to fuse it right there. My rod's here. So like I said, normally I would do this on my solderite board, but I like to keep my solderite board a little more clean. So I started just experimenting with putting them on here, and then I don't want to have to pick them up here and put them on my block. So I'm just going to fuse it right on here. These blocks don't really reflect a lot of heat, so if the links were much thicker, it would probably be a little bit fussier, but these are really not that thick or difficult to get hot enough. So just like when you're fusing fine silver or gold, I'm gonna circle the link, build up the heat a little bit, and then I put the flame right in front and kind of tickle the seam. You see that? It gets a little liquidy and hot. It needs to be a little bit more. You see that? That one's done. Let's go on to the next one. Get it hot. Get right in front of the seam and kind of tickle it. You see that? It just gets a little liquidy and kind of fills in. I'm going to go ahead and do all four just so you can see it. Heat it up right in front. See that? Got hot and it kind of flowed and filled in. One more. Get it hot, the flame in front, heat it up a little bit. And I mean, of course, it's a lot easier to see this when you're right in front of it, but it really just kind of gets hot and you see it kind of flow across the seam. So you can see it's not really very hard to fuse these at all. I mean, of course, all fusing takes practice, but not really very complicated. So I'm gonna let it cool, throw them in the pickle, and then I'll show you how to stretch them. So here's a little close-up of the links, all fused. You see the seam pretty much disappears. You might see a little tiny like ghost, but it's pretty much gone.